Welcome to Softcore History.
Welcome back to Softcore History. I am this week's host, Dan Regester, and I am joined, as always, by Jake Goldman.
Heyo. Hi-oh.
How are you?
Dude, I packed so much box this weekend.
Ooh.
Tell. I'm moving. Yeah, so I packed a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Wasn't very cool, actually. I just packed
you don't
stuff up.
have sex with your wife. I forgot that.
I do. Sometimes. Sometimes I don't.
Annually?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the details, but...
Married life, am I right, guys?
Dude, you joke. I cannot wait until you get fucking married.
You're going to be waiting a while.
No.
Sorry,
no,
Kylie.
it's gonna sneak up on you real quick, buddy.
He says that.
Yeah. He's in love. Don't let him fool you.
That other voice, of course, is Rob Fox. Do I have to intro you?
There's nothing I'm more excited for now than your wedding.
It's gonna
I'm
be shotgun.
very happy. We're going to Vegas next weekend, skipping your fucking baby shower.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of like any reason to not go.
I wasn't expecting much present-wise out of you anyway, because you still have like socioeconomically a hobo's brain.
Well, yeah.
So
Probably get like a butterfly knife. It's like babies need protection.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, and he's not nice enough to. He's not like a nice poor person brain where he's like, I'll make something or find something meaningful. He would just show up with like a coffee can full of like soda can pop tops and be like, I don't know, you could put like.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
For like $8.
It's a rattle.
I'd make some macaroni art for your baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate that.
Show
and
him
I
the
look
ropes.
forward to the now promised macaroni art.
That was what I
And
was
guys,
thinking.
if you want to leave in the comments what Dan should make for my baby in macaroni art,
It's going to be a penis.
that'd be great, because please rate and subscribe and everything and leave a review so we can keep climbing the charts.
Of course, yeah.
Also, real quick, before we continue,
Okay.
Dan starts his topic.
Sure, go ahead.
If you go to softcorehistory.com, you can see merch. We have a merch store now. We have t-shirts, tank tops, hats, and mugs. So, rep our shit.
Yeah, and that's, look,
New designs will be coming soon as well.
yeah, and
Real soon.
I want to be clear, Softcore History. Don't let it autocomplete, because it'll still autocomplete to Softcore His Sorry, which is kind of like a softcore porn about a man with a terrible penis.
Oh, man, this never happens.
And he calls it it's called His Sorry. I was on it for a while.
Were you in it?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, softcorehistory.com. We got stuff to buy. It helps support the podcast.
I swear it'll be hard in like 5 minutes. Just give me a sec.
And that's the end
that's
of my
His Sorry.
read.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is a good website too, but go to ours first. But if you do want to hear the story of His Sorry,
It's pretty much
go to Softcore His Sorry.
pretty much my every Saturday.
Yeah.
You know.
Really?
No.
Nah, yeah, you get it out. You just take some.
We do have a
pre-workout.
special guest today
We do.
in
Very
the
special.
building.
Half of the other history podcasts.
The competitive podcast.
Yeah.
And our own network.
I am 50% of your competition.
Yes.
The other 50% is also here, too.
That's Coop.
Yeah.
What's up, Coop?
How you doing? I am one of the hosts of the Iconoblast podcast.
Say your full name. I know.
My name is Matt Cooper. Nobody calls me Matt, though. It actually makes me really uncomfortable if anybody calls me Matt.
I was
You're
about to
saved in
I
my
don't like
phone.
it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
you're saved in my phone as Coop Cooperson.
The only time that anybody ever calls me Matt is if I'm in trouble. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it just makes me really uncomfortable.
Is it like a Matthew? Like Matthew?
Oh, if it's Matthew, then I know that I'm definitely getting grounded. Even 37 years old, if my mom calls me Matthew, I know for a fact I'm getting grounded.
I actually didn't know that was your name. I thought
Yeah,
your name
I-
was just Cooper.
Honestly,
Way
I
to
prefer
care.
it that way.
Okay.
I like what Jack Mandeville calls me, which is Coop Cooperson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
why
would-
it's that
I
way in
would
your
much
phone.
rather
huh?
change my name.
Oh,
to
he
that.
also calls you that. I
Yeah.
must have passed that on
really?
to Jack Mandeville then.
Yeah, he probably liked that.
Yeah, might as well. I'm Coop Cooperson.
Yeah.
For all intents
Yeah,
and
just you're only
purposes.
Matt in court.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be Matthew.
So thought we'd bring you on because apparently 10 minutes before we did the show, found out you wanted to do an episode on this guy too.
Yeah, you kind of snaked this topic out from under us, but I'm okay with it because you
Yeah.
you invited me on the show at the last minute, which I'm sure it's because you felt bad, but
No. We need somebody that's actually knowledgeable on this podcast, and it sure isn't me.
oh god, I'm only knowledgeable if I'm reading it off of the paper.
But I do have this just massive list of weirdos that I can just kind of come up with every 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's got his weirdo list that he just I mean, these turn out to be our best topics, I think, typically. So
I want to know where he gets them.
Yeah.
He has a menagerie of freaks.
It's all right
Yeah.
because he'll never take Joseph Goebbels' underrated writer from me. So it's
Wait, Joseph Goebbels?
yeah, whatever you say, Goebbels,
Goebbels?
whatever.
Gerbils?
I thought it
Yeah.
was pronounced Goebbels.
I think
Is it
it's
Goebbels?
Yeah.
Oh, am I thinking
Yeah.
of Goebbels?
Yeah.
Who's Goebbels?
That's the same person, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, I should
Goebbels
know.
and Goebbels?
You know what?
Yeah.
I intentionally mispronounced his
Is
name.
that Dan Brown's ghostwriter?
No,
Well,
it's
unless
Hitler's
he's
ghostwriter.
unless he's a literal ghost writing for him.
Yeah, which would be incredible.
Which, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because he definitely doesn't write all those books, right?
Like
No,
the
he
Da Vinci
definitely
Code?
does because they're like about him.
Yeah.
You know that like he is like describing Robert
Yeah,
Langdon.
but they're all the same, right? So he makes a format and he just gives it to somebody.
yeah, he mad
write
libs
for him.
a conspiracy
Yeah, I was-
mystery about the Catholic Church
I
or
was going
something.
to say that
Yeah.
Dan Brown is pretty much Mad Libs.
But why? That's the I mean, can't really talk shit. That's like a TV show. It's like a procedural. He's invented his own
Yeah.
global spanning conspiracy procedural. in
So
a
much
book.
so that he doesn't even have to write them anymore.
Do you think
Because-
Clancy wrote all his books?
No.
No, he actually didn't. He had
Yeah.
ghostwriters for, well, not even ghostwriters, just people flat out writing the stories for his later books, and they would just slap his name on it. Kind of like the way that they're still making Tom Clancy video games, and
Right.
Yeah.
he's been dead for a while now.
I think Stephen King writes all his own shit, but he does have like a whole company of writers.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do.
And copious amounts of cocaine.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yes, he was pretty
Does
into
he still do
cocaine.
it now?
Also,
Oh, I doubt it.
Yeah. I think
mean,
The
he's-
Shining was about cocaine.
I think everything that he wrote up until like the late 90s was probably about cocaine in one way or another,
Yeah.
or getting hit by a van.
Yep. And so another reason I actually brought you on was because I'm really trying to hammer our second leading demographic country-wise, and that's Canada. With the second most listened to, I guess, or the audience, second biggest audience for our podcast is Canada, next to the United States, of course.
makes sense. I thought we were picking up in Australia.
A little bit, but they're lagging behind Canada. So I'm really trying to hammer Canada. And from my understanding, you grew up close to Canada.
I mean, yeah, close enough. Southeast Oregon, but also I'm about
It's
as
not a good connection.
I'm about as white as you come, having been born in America. And I think the only way that you could be any whiter is if you were either born in Canada or possibly one of the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But also, you were a troop, right?
Yes, I was in the U.S. Army. I was
Thank
a
you for your service.
13 Foxtrot Fire Support Specialist.
Nice, dude. I didn't know that.
So, making all those connections, our topic today is a Canadian soldier by the name of Leo Major. You familiar?
His last name's Major?
His first name is Leo. His last name is Major.
Not to be confused with Lee Major.
I was about to
Totally
say,
different.
or not to be confused with the kind of dated, but I assume hilarious at the time joke from Catch 22.
Major. Major.
Well, he was a private.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Private Major?
private major, which you could also kind of run with, I imagine.
I suppose. I mean, if he was
Especially
a
in the-
sergeant, that would work.
Especially in
Sergeant
World
Major.
War II, I feel like it was not hard to get a good chuckle out of the boys.
Oh, man. His private's Major.
Oh,
Yeah, major privates.
Major privates.
Yeah.
he definitely had some cojones on him because we'll just get into
He
it.
did have major privates, is what you
Actually,
Private Majors had Major Privates.
just
Just the name of the episode.
said. Major privates is another great website to check out,
Yeah.
by the way.
of course.
It's an abandoned labiaplasty website. It's honestly, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's next to Pain Olympics. I think the SEO kind of.
Yeah, this is before they did the cutting though,
Okay.
because it's a labiaplasty before site.
So we're going to pull the rug under from Canada to begin with. He was actually born in Massachusetts.
So not a Canadian.
It's not Canadian.
in
at all.
1921. Well, to French-Canadian
Well,
parents.
let's steal that valor.
Oh.
He's an American. Let's just steal
French-Canadian
the valor.
parents who moved him back to Montreal before his first birthday.
Whatever.
But dual citizenship.
Yep.
Yep.
I think that also kind of explains his later actions, is because he was actually American. He
It
was
wasn't
born on
'cause he was
American
Canadian?
soil. No.
Well, were his actions, without spoiling anything, rude?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, that could be the
Little bit.
French Canadian.
Isn't it?
Yeah, very rude.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't it like just us and Brunei? Like we're the only countries that have like jus soli citizenship, where it's like if you're born on soil, you're a citizen here.
We're one of the few,
Yeah, I
and
think
I
it's
know
like us
that
and Brunei.
every once in a while, the right will be like against that, or like you'll hear like a conservative be against that, and then it takes like 2 seconds of reasoning to be like, no, no, you shouldn't. Like, it's better to have open citizenship in a democracy than to like start like the precedent set by kind of picking and choosing who gets to be American. Not
great.
ideal.
No, it opens you up to a lot of stuff.
So, like Jesus, not much is known about his teenage years.
Well, for now.
For now, of course. And he wanted to prove his worthiness to his old man, but rather than die like an asshole on a piece of wood, Leo joined the Canadian Army.
What a like quickly passed over shot at Jesus.
I always try.
I appreciated it.
Yeah.
But I actually respect Jesus.
He joined the Canadian Army in 1940 and was a part of the unit who stormed the beaches of Normandy on June 6, 1944, of course. Fought his way through the beaches and was tasked for a solo recon mission where he single-handedly captured an armored vehicle with Nazi communication equipment and secret codes.
So wait, he joined in 40 and didn't see an ounce of action until 44? Mm-hmm. How?
I don't know if Canada was like us, where, maybe they just joined when...
No, they're part of the Commonwealth. They joined when the UK joined. They were definitely in action prior to...
Well, he didn't see
prior to
action until 44.
That's weird.
Okay.
Was he just hanging out?
Yeah, was he? It didn't take 4 years to train. I mean, I know like the Band of Brothers guys started basic, like the paratroopers started basic in like 42 and then didn't deploy till literally D-Day. But
It's a rough day to start.
no.
Yeah, not the most ideal first day at work.
No. It's all uphill from there, or downhill from there, though, really.
Well, first day on the job, he took a fucking vehicle from the Nazis
That's awesome.
with a little of their communication equipment. A few days after that, he came across an SS patrol and killed 4 enemies before being hit with a phosphorus grenade, causing Major to lose all functions in his left eye.
Okay. So wait, hold on. It didn't detonate? Like he got shot with it?
No. He killed these guys, and as they were like fucking dying or like about to get shot, the grenade was thrown and shrapnel just...
Oh, okay. I was imagining for some reason like one of those like rifle grenades, from World War II.
Yeah.
And they like popped it, but it didn't explode.
I don't think the Germans really used those, though. I think that was primarily Americans that were using the rifle-launched grenades.
I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah,
Now,
they're great in Fallout.
Yeah, they were good in Call of Duty, too.
Was this before he... I thought it was on D-Day that he captured the 2-man German patrol. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to jump ahead.
Yeah, no, he already got... This was after he took that vehicle, the armored vehicle, a few days later. Comes across an SS patrol, takes out a few Nazis, loses an eye in the process, but rather than go home, like most of his officers wanted him to, he slapped an eye patch on and said, "I'm staying."
Hell yeah.
I guess because they're Canadian, they were polite and they didn't really want to send him home if he made a good argument. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I assume he was like, no. And they were like, sorry, okay, go kill Nazis, sorry.
Or bad.
Like, no.
If you want to fight with one eye.
And at this point, really, like, I feel like
That'll
there's
be
certain
okay.
wars, like now, if that happened in Iraq or Afghanistan, they'd be like, get the fuck home. But like in a giant war like this, they're like, what, dude, we'll take the meat. Like, whatever.
Oh, yeah. And
We
they
need
have
the bodies.
They have to avoid the later lawsuits also. Back then, they didn't give a shit about lawsuits because nobody was going to sue.
No.
Yeah. What court would even fucking care?
Yeah.
Like, really?
The judge would throw it out.
Yeah.
They're like, you know how it was like the entire world at war?
The judge then, judges back then were like, what, you raped a gal? All right, well, you can go to prison, or here's a better idea, join the infantry, buddy.
Yeah.
Remember when
he
John
probably deserved it anyway.
Dillinger,
Yeah.
little callback episode, he joined the Navy and then just went AWOL.
Yeah, he was like, I really don't like shoveling coal into this ship furnace.
He's like, I told you I wouldn't, rob another bank, but that kind of seems like a better idea than joining the Navy.
There was takesy-backsies back then.
There was.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, I think he would have been better off joining the Navy, going AWOL overseas, and robbing, like, somewhere in Asia or Europe blind.
Have you never seen, Midnight Express once? You want to be in foreign prison?
You know what? This is pre-World War II. It's all the same, I feel like.
No.
Even Catch Me If You Can,
Yeah,
Leo's
he was
treated like
he was
shit
in a
prison.
French prison. Yeah.
French prison.
Yeah, if you want to be like walking around in a circle in like a Turkish prison, by all means, go for it. But
I love that. I just like that part of the movie where he was like, I have grown to hate your people. It like made him racist being in the jail.
yeah,
I was like,
how
dude,
could it not?
you were smuggling heroin.
He was smuggling hash.
Whatever. It's not like he wasn't like I mean, I guess it was a victimless crime, but it's not like he got put in jail for no reason.
Yeah,
Like oh no, you suffered the consequences of your actions.
it's weird how those always get you.
Yeah, fuck you, man.
I do love that also Greece was like, oh, you're a Turkish prison escapee? Get on over. We fucking hate them too.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So-
really do.
Greeks and Turks. We talked about that in an episode, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
a story as old as time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us oldest time.
Yeah.
So this Canadian, more badass Dan Crenshaw continues to fight through France and eventually makes his way to the Netherlands, where he took part in the Battle of Scheldt.
Is this Market Garden?
No, it's Scheldt.
I don't.
It's a river.
Is it part of a bridge too far?
It's just the
Operation.
Battle of
What-
Scheldt.
Give me the date.
October 2nd to November 8th,
Yeah,
1944.
that's Operation Market Garden. Okay, just wondering.
They were tasked with clearing out German forces from the coastal areas so that supplies could be brought in for Allied troops. Major was a part of the Canadian First Army that was tasked to go through the muddy terrain and go to the surrounding canals. One night during this campaign, Major was ordered to do a recon mission to find a Canadian patrol that went radio silent. He decided, I'm going to pivot.
Like
To what?
Fuck that patrol.
Like,
If they're dead, they're dead.
Yeah.
yeah. So he took his weapons and slid and swam quietly through a canal around a German position in the darkness, just like, in Major's own words, a water rat.
Cool.
That's what he called
Sure.
himself.
Why not?
Yeah.
He silently took out 2 guards and snuck his way towards a strongly defended Nazi command post where he found the commander sound asleep. When he woke up, Major informed him that he was now a prisoner of war without firing a single shot.
I'm surprised because it sounds like he's pretty into killing. Like he's more into. He was like, no, these guys might be dead. I could help save them, or I could just kill people.
Well, here's what he did. He marched the commander to the barracks of 93 Nazi troops who were instructed to lay down their weapons and surrender. Major radioed back to his unit that he'd be bringing back a few prisoners
Okay.
and to send tank support to keep everyone in line, in which they're like, what?
Why tanks?
Yeah.
Like, how many prisoners do you have? So he took all 94 back.
Nice.
93 plus the
To
commander.
be fair, they were probably pretty willing at this point, even though Market Garden was like the last big L that the Allies took on the Western Front. Like it wasn't a good. They didn't win. Like they didn't lose.
Yeah, that's well, that's obviously that's post Battle of the Bulge, right?
No, pre-Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, okay.
But we won the battle. We were losing
yeah,
it first. But
eventually, yeah.
yeah.
It's another website to check out.
Yeah. My grandpa was in both
The website?
and the battle. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know.
It's his sorry?
Yeah. Well, no, he's got a nice one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're his sorry.
Yeah, I'm his sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, go to my website, softcorehisssorry.com.
So when Spears tried to award him the Distinguished Combat Medal for the Courageous Act, he refused, claiming the man who would have given him the award, General Bernard Montgomery, was an incompetent buffoon.
Dude, everyone fucking hated him. So that plays back into this battle, by the way. This was Monty's plan, Operation Market Garden. They wanted to basically take Holland, and I think they wanted like a deep water port in Antwerp, essentially.
That's
like
where the Canadians went in?
Well, the whole Americans, Canadians, and British were all around there. They're
Oh,
trying
okay.
to take
Because that was a battle that Easy Company also took part in. Also,
Yes.
They
Yeah,
sent
yeah,
in the paratroopers inland. Right?
That was the last major airdrop of the war.
Oh, okay.
So that was like the two major. There was one in Italy that the 82nd took part in, but not the 101st. I forget what that was. Maybe Sicily. I don't remember. But then the two biggest ones were, and they're both in Band of Brothers. or D-Day, and then Operation Market Garden.
That's
And
actually how Rob knows all of his World War II trivia knowledge. It's Band of Brothers.
That's how I know all of my history knowledge is from popular culture. Assassin's Creed.
Oh, me personally, it's only
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, it's only Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed is most likely the most accurate place to get any historical knowledge.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good starting point.
Oh yeah, better than most. Honestly,
Actually, my wife's when she was in school for architecture, they pulled up the one that was in like ancient Italy or whatever.
So
and they were
the
like,
second one, yeah.
and they were like, this is actually a perfect example of Roman architecture.
Yeah.
At the time, they were like, this
It's
is the most
not-
accurate description of it in popular culture.
It's not a bad place to start.
Yeah.
Shouts to Ubisoft.
Dude, honestly,
Not a sponsor, but if you want to be a sponsor, sure.
yeah, seriously.
We'll talk about Ass Creed all day if you sponsor us.
Yeah.
Ass Creed, another great website.
Yeah, Ass Creed. It's just someone's ass and arms wide open playing over and over again.
I do like that one.
Yeah, but it says ass wide open.
A few months later, February 1945, Major was riding in a truck in the German Rhineland when they drove over a landmine. Leo was launched from the truck and fractured several vertebrae.
Well, he's got more.
He once again refused to be taken off active duty and low-key went AWOL because he otherwise would have been sent back home.
Yeah, he just likes killing.
Yeah,
He
that
just-
guy likes Warren.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think that he likes warring more than killing, because one of the instances that I was referencing earlier around D-Day was he found two German soldiers walking along a dike, and what he did was he took one of them hostage and used them as bait to bring the other one over to try and capture him. He had the opportunity to kill both of them. Now, he ended up killing the second one because the second one opened fire on him.
Yeah, if anything that you'll learn from this, he's not a killer. He is obsessed with collecting prisoner of wars, though. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if he has the record.
I think that's the bigger power move. Like,
Oh, for
taking
sure.
everybody alive.
getting them to submit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you
liked
think-
dominating other men.
Yes.
If you dominate one man,
But
that's
to- but
gay.
to
But
be
if you dominate many men, they'll wish death upon you. So
Yeah, you're a hero.
Amen.
But to be fair, though,
Many,
and you gotta
many,
put a
many,
little,
many.
like, it's rad that he did. You gotta put a little bit of an asterisk in, like, whoa, he took 93 prisoners. Like, they must have seen him and been like, I'm not fucking with that. No, they were like, good, I get to leave.
Oh yeah.
We're losing this war, and now I get to go to the nicest prisoner of war camps
Canada.
in the history of the fucking world.
A lot of German prisoners of war didn't even want to leave Canada after the war was over.
Or America.
Because
They
they were
didn't
just
wanna
treated
emigrate
so
back.
fucking well.
Yeah.
I can imagine just Canada POW camps. It's like, oh, you guys got enough towels? All right.
Dude, the American ones were super nice too. Like, they were like playing soccer. They'd go work. Like, I think we used them as like migrant workers a little bit, but they got paid. I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would we pay them?
I'm honestly not super duper sure that we didn't treat Nazi POWs better
Better
than
than
Japanese
Japanese,
citizens.
yeah.
I can, if they got paid for their work, yes.
Yeah.
Don't cite me on that. I think that, but I know they definitely like did labor that was like, we probably treated them better than black people in prison and Japanese people in
Rob,
internment
that is
camps.
the sacrifice we had to make to get to the moon.
Yeah.
And I can't say it was wrong.
We got there.
No one else has been there.
I think we got there.
Yes, they have. Wait, is there really been no other country that's been in the moon?
No, we're the only country in the history of Earth that has put people on another.
Because once someone's been to the moon, you don't want to be the second
Yeah.
country to land
sloppy
on the
seconds from the moon.
Yeah.
Ew.
No, hell
China
no.
the other day was all like, we put our first fucking rover on Mars, and it was like, oh, that's, yeah, your first one.
What was
Yeah,
it like
we
driving
have-
in our treads, bitch?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. You learning new stuff? I think we already learned that. That stuff you're learning.
Yeah, we tore a path for you.
Oh,
Have
what's
fun
that?
with
Oh,
it.
Mars is red. Yeah, we heard that when we got there.
Not your kind of red.
How many probes have you crashed into Jupiter at this point?
That's a great
chumps?
question.
Fucking
Yeah.
losers, dude.
Can you crash something in Jupiter? Is
There is a solid core.
Okay, I was gonna say, isn't it a ball of gas?
There is a
I
solid
mean,
core.
if you get down far enough, it gets more and more dense. But yeah, we which probe was it?
Viking?
I don't think it might have been
Voyager?
not Voyager, because Voyager's the one that's already like
Well, there was two, wasn't there?
That
Though?
left the solar system?
Oh,
Yeah,
there
there
was
was-
one to capture pictures of. Was it Saturn or Jupiter?
it was it got Jupiter for sure. It was the one that took the pictures of Jupiter's moons, the close up pictures.
Oh, it was
And-
Train.
Yeah, that's
Drops
it.
to Jupiter.
Yeah, drops
Yes.
to Jupiter.
Yeah,
It was
that was
train.
that satellite. Yes.
But
no,
yeah,
I know which one you're talking about.
They
There
didn't
were
want to
two.
risk. They didn't want to risk contaminating any of the moons that possibly had life on it, so they just redirected it into Jupiter's atmosphere.
Okay, and
That's
so
stupid. Get down there and find like your
Which one-
ice animals.
is Europa? I thought Europa's Saturn though, right?
I think.
Europa's a soccer league, I believe.
No,
Yeah.
that's
I think
the
the
truth.
answer-
That's
Also a
true.
great history game, Europa Universalis, Universalis, whatever.
Oh shit! I haven't played that one.
It's all right. It's like only politics and shit. You can like do simulated combat. You can't like fight
Sounds
battles.
sick.
Oh, I could still get into that though.
Yeah, I need a little bit of combat action.
Europa's the one with the frozen surface where they think there might be underwater. I don't remember if it's Saturn or Jupiter. Though.
I believe. Well, I think that there's one around Jupiter and also around Saturn. One of them is Titan, I believe. And
Oh,
I
see,
think
that's-
that's around Saturn.
I think you're right. And then there's Io as well, but
Yeah.
I don't
Whichever
know
one
enough.
has the ice geysers that are.
Either way, fuck them space penguins. We should
Yeah.
have dropped that shit on there and seen if they were there.
But
Yeah.
like, why can't we name our moon something cool? Why
It's
is it gotta be
moon.
moon?
Because it was
Titan sounds
moon.
tight.
Well, technically, our moon's called Luna.
That's bitch.
But everybody
That's
just
a bitch
says
That
ass
just
name.
means
I mean,
moon.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
it's moon in a different language.
It's still not as cool.
Yeah.
That's like someone's dog.
Luna.
Well, it's like, what is the, like, there's a name for Earth, too, that's not Earth.
Terra.
Terra, yeah.
This is Earth.
I know,
Same,
but
same
it's
difference.
the same
Yeah.
thing, is
Yeah,
what I'm
everything
saying.
sounds
yeah.
better in Latin or
Yeah, it's
Italian or whatever. Like
Right.
Yeah.
everything sounds better in Latin.
Terra sounds like a bitch.
Terra sounds like a slut.
Terra.
Luna.
Everyone's been in Terra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first girlfriend's name was Tara, and from what I've seen from her Facebook profile, yes, that's true. Everyone has been to Tara.
Tight. And now to transition back
Not anymore.
to Leo, which is a constellation.
It's true.
Oh, Dan.
Transition.
So he lived with a Netherland family that he met while he was there before slipping back into his unit a month later. So he went AWOL for a month, just chilling,
Healing his back up.
healing his back a little bit.
He's like, I just got to get my spine just a little good to go, and then I'm back to murdering.
I was supposed to say, how do you even walk around and carry a weapon with 7 fucked up vertebrae? Like, that puts most people out
What
of
did he
work.
carry? What was he strapped with most of the time?
Who could say?
From what I know, he, at least during some of the later events, he was carrying a Thompson M1A1.
Okay.
But I think the Canadians primarily used some
They
sort
use
of
British weapons for the most part.
yeah.
And
So I think they were using not the Springfield, the
Enfield.
Enfield.
Enfield,
Not
yeah.
I was thinking Mosin, but that was a Russian one.
Motion Nagant or
Nagant.
Nagant, whatever the fuck. Yeah.
So I'm sure he goes back to his unit and they're like, hey, man, like, really not cool what you did, but I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
You are a hero.
You're AWOL? Oh, okay. Well, sorry for calling you AWOL.
You're back now, clearly.
Yeah, you're back. You're back. It's
Sorry.
fine.
Sorry
Fine.
about that.
You're,
Go Habs.
you
Yeah.
know,
Go Habs.
Go Habs.
Because he's from Montreal. They're just trying to appease him.
Uh,
But go Habs.
Yes, go Habs. Yeah, seriously, fuck the Lightning. Who
Go
wants to
Bolts,
see-
baby.
Who wants to see the Bolts win?
Fuck
a
off.
Second
Name
straight
2
cup?
Lightning players.
The goalie and the forward.
April 1945, Canadian unit comes across German-occupied city of Zwolle. Is that right?
I've only read it before. I've never heard it pronounced, but
Okay.
it's close enough. This is the good shit though.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we were just all just a tip before.
Oh yeah.
This
Now
is,
we're getting
this is
the
kind
shaft.
of like his,
Coup de grace,
yeah.
his masterpiece.
Magnus Opus.
Yeah, Magnus Opus.
This is where we're going 3 knuckles deep.
Wow.
Tight.
Not.
So
Well, not anymore.
one eye, bad back, because this is like 2 months after he
Yeah.
broke his vertebrae.
Hold on. Let me just say this before we go any further. Listen up, millennials.
This is how real men backpack
Yeah.
through Europe.
Yeah. Get ready, Zoomers.
Seriously, you're going to be fighting the next World War. Not us.
Yeah.
No man is going to be
I'm getting aged out
World
pretty
War.
quick here.
Yeah,
like
we're
I'm
all kinda
I'm
getting there.
35 right now. Like
What is it,
it's not-
36? Is the...
I think it's
Cut off?
38 for a World War situation,
Is it?
essentially.
Oh shit.
Oh, man. Modern medicine. God damn it.
No, that was World War II. Even it was like
Fuck. that
oh,
means I got
really?
one more
it
year.
was extended to like 38. But I mean, I'm probably in some artillery unit.
No, we send over the fucking Boston robotics dog.
oh, fuck yeah.
True.
And then they can't get it back in, and then that's the start of Skynet.
Yep.
Yeah. Once that Boston Dynamics dog, the thing that pisses me off about it is like, all they do is fuck with it. It's going to learn to hate humans.
Oh, yeah, well, they're beating up the regular robot, too. They're like trying to like stop it from moving or whatever. Yeah, they essentially, to see if it works, they torture it.
Well, we talked about this
Which
the
is
other
not
day.
ideal.
There was a hitchhiking robot that was just trying to make its way across.
Dude, I saw that thing. Like, it got through Canada
Made
fine.
it all the
It
way
got
through Canada
it got
just
through
fine.
most of the United States, and then it went to Philadelphia. And it came across just the wrong Eagles fan at the wrong time.
No, it came across an Eagles fan at any time.
Wawa was out of the good hoagies. Someone had to
Let's
pay
not
for
give
it.
too much credit to this Eagles fan. Like, oh, he was having a bad day.
Yeah, one of them
an
ate shit
an
one time,
Eagles
so-
fan saw it and murdered it.
In cold blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prefer the shiggles,
Yeah.
really. But yeah. Major and another man by the name of, I had it written down earlier. Ew. That's not important. I'll get to his name later.
Cool.
He dies like an asshole anyway.
Cool.
So he dies like Christ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because apparently if Christ is dying like an asshole, then everyone's dying like an asshole.
Well, they're sent to do a recon mission at dusk.
I dare you to say that to Leo's face.
I'm not saying Leo. I'm saying
Oh no, his buddy died like an
buddy.
asshole, but I dare you to say that to Leo's
that
face.
is true.
right?
April 13th, 1945. Leo always trying to push the limits.
By the way, I think Hitler dies in like 8 days or something like that. 7 days
Okay.
from that.
Breaking
No, his
away.
birthday's in 7 days. He died. No, he died like the 15th. He died before his birthday. Oh, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man. Oh,
We
sick.
always need
Thanks,
more
dude.
ranch waters.
Okay, so his
you.
friend's
Yeah,
name is
spicy
Wilfred Arsenault.
Okay.
Okay, so him and
Or
Wilfred
Will.
kind of go to the streets of the city because they like to break orders and they like to push
Yeah.
the limits.
It's pretty YOLO at this point too in the war. Like it's pretty like anything goes.
Once the war's winding down,
Yeah.
you can get away with
Gotta
a
do
lot.
whatever you want at this point.
Two
like last day of
two German soldiers spotted them and opened fire. Wilfred took one to the dome, so he died pretty much instantly. And
Like an asshole.
Yeah.
okay,
Dan's
I
just
take
gonna
that
walk
back.
through Normandy. Just go to the site where Tom Hanks turns old.
Let's do. Yeah, I would
And-
say let's do an episode. Yes, where we take Dan to the Normandy graveyard, and he just has to point out who he thinks died like an asshole based on their
Well,
name.
everyone, because they all have crosses.
Just going from
There's
There's
grave
a couple stars of
asshole,
Davis.
Yeah, but he
asshole,
called them assholes
asshole.
too.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
just Jews. He'd be like Jew, asshole, Jew, asshole. Yeah.
Well, they're trespassers.
No, that's the Sioux at Wounded Knee.
That too.
Yeah, they were the trespassers.
Yeah.
According, no, I didn't say that. Our friend did.
Who you'll meet eventually.
Yeah. He's
Was your friend Custer?
well, he's made of custard.
Oh no, that's
Custard. Yeah.
that was a little big one.
Our good
wasn't it?
friend.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
good friend. Well, not my friend, but y'all's friend.
Well, I think he's gonna warm up to you.
Maybe
Or he might warm me up. One or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, a German?
that's called a tease.
Yeah, we're
For the
teasing
folks at home.
We're teasing a new friend of ours.
A little mascot of ours.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway. Go ahead.
So he's enraged, the bloodthirsty major, because he sees his friend die. So he killed those two soldiers and was now fixed on liberating the entire town, no matter what he met on the streets. His quote.
I believe the Vikings called this berserking.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
He went
berserkers.
Full berserker.
Yeah.
Major then spent the rest of the night simulating an attack by himself, running from position to position like a possessed man, firing at enemy troops and throwing grenades, acting as if a large unit was unloaded on pockets of Nazi soldiers.
I gotta say, this just sounds like the Nazis are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, those guys like fire a ton for like a minute,
And then those guys
and then those guys do, and it's like, fuck, man.
Or
Well,
there's
see, I've even been confused about this too, because it would be one weapon firing from one position and then like 30 seconds to a minute later, one weapon firing from another position, the exact same type of weapon, which if you spend enough time under fire,
but you
you'll
also
recognize
you
the
have
different-
to realize it's a city of 50,000 people as well. So these are citizens involved in the city. So they might have mixed them up with.
Maybe
Canadian
I feel like
soldiers.
this wouldn't fool the dumbest cop in the world.
I think you're right that they just want a way out.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm fucking done.
In April 1945, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
First off, these guys are just happy that it's Western allies shooting at
Wow.
them and not fucking
I'm
Soviets.
sorry, Canada. Rob is trying to dismiss your hero right now.
I don't if this is a Canadian. By the way, do you know that the Canadians were never allowed to plan an attack or whatever, any type of operation again after Dieppe failed so badly? There was a landing in France before Normandy, and it was Dieppe, and it went so horribly that the Allied command, like Eisenhower and everyone, and Montgomery and everybody else, were just like, yeah, you can't, it's done. Like,
an attack moves really slow when they stop to apologize to every person that they shoot.
yeah,
That is-
sorry. I think every shot that they take, every shell that hits the ground.
Sorry.
So he's carrying 2 Sten guns, a sack of grenades.
Stens are rad, by the way, if you don't know what they are.
I don't. What is the stance?
Sten, it's the British standard issue submachine gun, and it's got a side loading clip, and it looks super cool.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I assume it's in several World War II video
Yeah.
games.
Oh yeah, pretty much all of them.
1942.
They were super effective because they were made out of stamped metal, so they could just mass produce them for next to nothing. Whereas
sick.
the Thompson submachine gun was insanely expensive to produce.
Yeah.
Even for the time, it was super expensive.
The U.S. got off of it honestly by D-Day or right after it, because they switched to the grease gun, which was essentially like a copyright ripoff of the MP40 from the Germans.
Produced the way that they produced the Sin gun, which
Yeah.
was a bunch of stamped metal.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, and just if anyone's ever curious of seeing these kind of weapons, the World War II Museum in New Orleans is fucking sick.
Yes.
You should definitely go to that.
You don't even have to go to New Orleans. Just play literally any Call of Duty game that's based in World War II, and you'll see all of them.
Yeah, they definitely have all those guns.
Yeah.
The lesson from this podcast: play video games.
You'll learn a lot.
You'll learn a lot.
Yeah.
So gets to the center of the city. Streets are kind of deserted. It's late night. Finds a German machine gun nest. Since the crew was sleeping, he promptly attacked and eliminated them. He then found a German scout car and forced one of the Germans who he had captured to drive through the streets with the lights on, flying a white flag. For several hours, Major moved through the streets in this matter, shooting at any target he could find, making an impression.
Out of the white flag car?
Yeah.
What?
That sounds suspiciously like a war crime.
A literal war crime.
It's not how
That's
you're supposed
not
to do it. They did a whole
that
thing before
badass,
this war,
to be honest.
actually.
That's like a fucking ice cream truck
A
doing a
war crime.
drive-by.
Yeah.
And then like kids come out and you just pop them off.
You can't pop off kids in any fashion. Please don't.
Yeah, we're not encouraging you to.
Phrasing, Rob.
Any type of pop off. Don't do that. But yeah, that's like a literal. You can't be like, I surrender. Bah, 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 bah.
Call the ambulance, but not for me.
Literally, you can't do that.
That's that move.
That's not that badass, to be honest. I mean, all right, I'll say this.
War crimes are fine if you win.
There are times in the war it would have been badass, but like 4 days before Hitler blows his brains out, that's a little much. Like 1943 in Italy, like you're trying to get to Rome and the Germans are pretty convinced they might win still. Sure. Why not? They're Nazis. That's fine. They're days away from surrendering, and everyone knows that.
He, Private Major, comes across the head of the local resistance, Fritz Kuipers,
The head of the local resistance. Yeah, I'm sure he
Of course it's
retconned that
Fritz.
pretty hard.
and 3 of his men. He convinced them that a massive Canadian force was here to obliterate them and told Fritz to take all of his men and run. They mostly did, and any Nazi soldier that did not retreat was taken as a POW in groups of 8 to 10 at a time and by morning he had captured 50 men and forced the rest of the Nazi unit to retreat. He liberated a city of 50,000 by himself.
The smartest ones surrendered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Anyone who retreated was a fucking moron.
it was a fucking Nazi. Like
also
true to the core
like,
Nazi.
It's potato, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you're getting caught for the Nazi stuff, like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in the days, and this is around the same time, like, right, like a day or two before Hitler killed himself, I forget which general it was, but they wanted to launch a breakout attack towards the Allies. The Western Allies, essentially,
So they could get away?
just so they could go surrender to the Allies.
No.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be caught by the Russians.
No, yeah, they were just like, because I know, again, in shows like Band of Brothers, they're like, oh, I can't wait to jump into Berlin. We're going to get Jerry once and for all. But the Allied High Command was like, you can have it, Joe. Take Berlin. It's fucking yours. Because it was nasty. And you were killing like 12-year-olds and chicks with shitty rifles and stuff like that. There was one of the German field marshals was like, let us launch a breakout attack west just so we can get enough men out to go surrender to the people who aren't going to ship us to Siberia and you'll never hear from these people again.
Yeah, and I mean, who's luckier, the ones that just get executed by the Russians on the spot, or the ones that get sent to the fucking gulags?
I mean, I guess you're executed on the spot is a 0% chance, and gulag is
2.
non-zero.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends on what you want.
Yeah,
I mean,
how long do you want to suffer?
How long do you make it in the ice-cold gulags of Siberia is my question.
For most people, not all that long.
Through the
I mean,
gate?
even for the fucking, even for the Russian citizens,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
all that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you made a point too. I think people don't necessarily know this. Not all German soldiers were Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some like just people that were like, "Hey, here's a gun, you got to fight." Like some were just kids.
Wow. Hashtag not all Germans.
Not
Really,
all
Jake?
Germans.
You're gonna.
Yeah, actually, I am.
I mean, I got to back you up on that because
Yeah.
anybody who, this is something that I've talked about on the Iconoblast podcast before, people who demonize people who have fallen on the wrong side of history and say like, oh, if I was a German back in that time, I would never become a Nazi. It's like, well, go back to 1930s Germany and tell me that you weren't going to become a Nazi because
You didn't
you're
have much
working
of a
against
choice.
the majority of the population.
Go watch
And by the-
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah,
Germany-
exactly.
Seriously,
Jojo
Jojo
Rabbit.
Rabbit's a perfect example of
Germany,
damn good
in,
movie.
Basically Germany from its unification, really even after all the way up to like when Hitler got like real strong in the mid to late 30s, was a really, really liberal. And I was saying, oh, the liberals did it. It was just a really like liberal artistic country.
Yeah.
Like it was like in a lot of ways the envy of the world in terms of art and literature and stuff like that. Even after World War I, when they were just kind of in poverty for like 15, 20 years.
Well, that's the old.
Another thing that led to World War II, the
Right.
rise of Hitler.
Pre-World War I, it was absolutely like a sort of like 20th century Bohemia,
Yeah.
essentially. Like that's Bohemians, they're Germans.
I mean, they made the best like everything, right? It's just it's a small country fighting massive allied forces. So it was like that old Bill Burr joke where he's talking about like how for every tank they had, we had like 5, and we just McDonald's them to death.
Yeah, well, us and the Russians both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I still hold it's always just annoys me when Russians are like, "No, man, like we did it all by ourselves." It's like you
Well, that's
had
a pretty
zero
popular
fucking
narrative now.
planes in the air.
Especially on Twitter, everyone's like, "Oh, did we have that much to do with winning World War II?" It's like, yeah.
Yeah, we.
How'd
It wasn't just Russia.
was Russia going to take care of the Pacific Theater also?
Yeah, and I dare say the Russian winter did probably just as much damage as
Russian
the
people.
Yeah.
unarmed Russian people who had like
Right.
one gun for every 4 people.
Right. But like, you know, even when the Russia got its like gears going on the factories and shit like that, it was American and British air power that stopped the Germans from being able to do any, because I don't care how many T-34s you have, if the Germans have air superiority, none of that matters.
Oh, and I mean, not only that, the Germans had hands down the best mechanized infantry. I mean, just the best tanks out of the entire war.
Yeah.
The Panzers and the Tigers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they would go through. They called the American Sherman tanks. What was it? The
Tin coffin.
Tommy Cooker.
Tin coffin was the one I knew. Tommy Cooker, it sounds like a British one.
And well, there was another one. They called it like the Zippo or something like that because the armor was so thin that it would take one shot from a Panzer tank to just send it up in flames. Yeah. But the Panzer armor and the Tigers especially, which thank God they came out so much later in the war, and they were so hard to produce and so hard to support.
Because we destroyed all their fucking factories in the air.
Yeah.
Which the Russians had nothing to do with.
But also, we had this one-man Canadian psychopath.
Of course.
Just taking towns.
Committing war crimes.
And Leo committed war crimes take over.
It's a great strategy. Some other guy was doing war crimes from another country.
The Nazis
But he was also, where was he born?
He was born in Massachusetts. He's a masshole.
Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking Nazi.
Oh, white flag.
It's like he's just walking up. He's like, yeah, go Yankees. Yeah. And then just beats the shit out of fucking Yankees fans.
Go Sox.
Well, no, he puts on a Yankees jersey at Fenway, and he's like, hey, you from out of town? Yeah, me too, buddy. And then just stabs him.
Yeah. That is
You think you're wicked smart?
Yeah. Yeah, he was fucking smart now.
So, yeah, he had a combination of those two accents, Canadian.
Yeah.
And Boston.
Bostonian.
It's the most disgusting accent you've ever heard.
That's what I was just going to say. That must be like one of the worst accents ever.
It's just farting out of your mouth.
The fuck you all.
Fuck you. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry is like Toronto.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Tab out now.
Oh, right.
It's like a frog that's a little frozen.
Wow, you really threw out frog, huh?
Yeah, you went French frog. That's frozen.
You know what? That is actually some of my people. So I don't care. Yeah, I'll talk whatever shit I want in the French.
Oh, I'll talk shit about the French all day with you whenever you want.
Yeah.
Either
absolutely.
way, that is the story of Leo Major.
Oh, we end on the war crimes?
In World War II.
In World War II. Okay. There's more.
Oh, there's love for Leo.
You fuck.
What does he just like take a boat to Korea and start fucking stabbing communists in the face?
Actually, the rape of Nanking was him.
When he goes,
Oh no, it's the wrong side, Leo. He's like, there's two sides, Leo and not Leo.
he just creates a time machine and just starts going back from war to war. No, he goes to Korea.
Oh shit!
Okay,
I
Paul.
didn't think this was. I mean, I know there are Canadians in Korea.
guess.
I didn't think the fucking crippled blind guy was one of them, but
Yep, and this is kind of his swan song. November 1951. He and 20 troops took an important Chinese camp on Hill 355 that was essential for supply routes. It was only a few miles outside of Seoul. They then fought 3 days of counterattacks and held the position against Chinese units much bigger than their 21-man group. At one point, the situation was so dire, Major was ordered to retreat. He did not.
Of course. It's not his MO.
at this point, I just half expect him to put on like a dead Korean's
Skin.
uniform. Yeah, skin actually, just like, and like just poorly imitate their language until they were like, what? And then he just shoots them.
Right.
No, they kept that hill. They won, fought off the counterattacks for several days, and returned back home.
Can I tell you a weird thing I've learned about the Korean War from the little bit I've read about the Forgotten War? Is that I feel like every time I ever read about a fight or a battle in the Korean War, it's always they held a hill.
And it was fucking horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible, and every hill was just numbered, right? There was no like Chosun Hill or something like. It's all like
Hill.
it's like Hill 472.
Although I think Hamburger Hill is Vietnam.
It
Right?
is.
Yeah, that was Vietnam.
Same thing though. I feel like Vietnam's similar. Where you're just,
Korea was the proto-Vietnam War.
Yeah.
It was like our first experience of fighting this overwhelmingly suicidal force that was willing to just throw everything that they could at us. Like, numbers did not matter for them.
Yeah.
So they would just throw everything that they could at them, and then anybody who got left behind. Well, Vietnam War, both sides were committing a decent amount of war crimes, if we're being perfectly honest, because they were both very,
Agent Orange.
very messy
I mean,
wars.
you know, Cambodia.
Laos.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, the Korean War was fucking. It was just atrocity after atrocity, and I don't mean that just in terms of war crimes. It's like every single battle was a slaughter, and both sides were just completely miserable.
Yeah. One of the nicknames for it is Fire and Ice, essentially, because Korea is only just hot as balls or cold as fuck. It's like North Dakota.
Yeah, so him and 21 men took and held this hill for several days against forces much bigger than their unit.
Right.
And then, much like the Vietnam War, in the long run, it didn't make a difference.
Didn't mean anything.
I still contend we won Korea.
Because was it the 49th parallel?
Yeah, because the North Koreans invaded South Korea, right? So and we repelled the invasion was eventually repelled. Like South Korea stayed a democracy.
Yeah.
So that's a
true.
dub essentially.
Okay, so that
we did
would
try
put
to
it above Vietnam.
We got a little greedy, right? And tried to take it all, like because we got all the way up to basically the Chinese border, and then they pushed us back, and blah 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 blah. But we did essentially accomplish our initial goal of keeping South Korea.
There is a weird
democratic.
fat man that consumes more Hennessy than anyone in the world right now that owns half that peninsula.
He's not fat anymore. That's actually a thing in the news right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, did he lose some weight?
Is he
lost
Jonah
a ton of
Helling
weight.
right now?
Oh shit! Is he gonna be on like
Atkins diet?
Is he gonna be on like People magazine?
Yeah, and I don't know what's more dangerous for the world is Kim Jong Un feeling like fat and self-conscious,
Self-loathing.
and self-loathing and wanting to lash out, or Kim Jong Un feeling like thin and sexy
Feeling
and starting
sexy.
to feel himself.
Man.
Ooh,
Wait till
ugly
he starts
duckling
feeling-
syndrome.
Which one's worse?
Which one, who was the magazine that was like the Boston bomber or whatever?
Rolling Stone.
It was
Yeah.
Rolling Stone. Where like,
Yeah.
is he too
No,
sexy
they
to
had
be
the
a
hot
terrorist?
terrorist cover. Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
They're gonna do the same thing with women now.
emphasis on terrorist, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hot part. Kind of
The
not doing the
Joker
heavy
song up
lifting.
there,
like
like,
me.
They were just like, how could a teen this hot commit a crime? And like, honestly, part of it too was probably that he was like Middle Eastern. So it's like, how could this like hot like minority teen
How
do
could this
something so terrible?
It was basically like, how could Aladdin do this? Like, because that's the kid was like,
What like a 2 years for Rolling Stone, by the way? They had that, and
And
then
the
like
rape case.
the fucking
The
Virginia
fake-
rape,
Yeah.
the fully where they just
made
didn't
up-
fact check anything.
They made up a person.
blanket?
The person, the rapist was like not real, and they
Yeah.
didn't fact check any of it.
Yeah, it was a huge story, and then they were like, "Oh, we lied."
And then
Yeah.
didn't like the
Oopsie.
fraternity Virginia got nothing out of it. Like I don't think when they sued them, I think they lost.
No, they won something. I think I'd have to look it up, but I think they did win.
Well, those kids did not get their degree.
They didn't win the court of public opinion.
Yeah,
that's
no.
for damn
No,
sure.
no. Sometimes it's okay to throw bricks through the house of where teenagers live,
Yeah,
and that is the example.
Off wild accusations that have no merit.
Yeah,
I still remember. It's like his name was Blanket. It's like no one would name no one
was-
has the frat nickname Blanket.
yeah, it was
Well,
something fucking.
isn't that
weird.
one of Michael Jackson's kids?
Yes.
That is also
Blanket
Blanket.
now.
No, but one of the kids was Blanket as well.
Oh, is the nickname?
Yeah, and I was like, no one got named Blanket.
God, thank God.
Fraternity.
Thank you, Coop. It only took us 50 minutes to get to a South Park reference. we are required by contract to at least do one.
I've been trying to work that in this whole time, but that was the only opening that I had.
I'm glad I could do it for
Yeah,
you.
you just kept texting me blanket question mark.
Although I think we were close with some Canadian stuff earlier.
Oh, you could do Canadian anytime.
Terrence and Philip.
French Canada is the real Canada. La, la, la.
That's one of the best episodes. Is the tour through France
Yeah. The Wizard of
or
Oz
tour through Canada?
Canada
Yeah, French
episode.
Canada.
Is
Yeah.
that the I'm not your guy, friend?
Scott,
No,
you're a dick.
that's a different Canadian. episode.
Scott, you're a
episode.
dick, Scott.
Scott is the fucking best.
Scott's one of the best characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, Leo Major goes home after Korea to live out the remainder of his days quietly while dealing with all the injuries he stacked up through the two wars and died
Real snooze fest for him.
at the
Yeah,
age of 87. He decided to become a prisoner of war to death.
What? Oh,
And he just
he
died.
surrendered to death, is what you're saying.
Oh,
Yeah, and by the way, unlike Jesus, he didn't come back.
Not yet.
So who's the real bitch?
still Jesus. Mike Malloy's cooler.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike Malloy's way cooler.
Yeah, Mike Malloy's cooler.
Mike Malloy.
How do you not remember Mike Malloy?
The unkillable
Oh,
Irish
yeah,
hobo.
yeah. Yeah, he's my Jesus.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, he was said to be super humble when he got back and only talked about his decorated war career. He won 2 medals. He eventually took those medals, not from that general.
I love that he hated Montgomery, by the way, because do you know who hated Montgomery also?
Everybody.
Everyone. Everyone. Although I should say, so that's like a main plot point in the movie Patton, is that Patton and Montgomery had a rivalry, which they did. The whole reason, not the whole reason, but Montgomery, like, he wanted a fair amount of glory for himself in the war.
Oh, yeah, he was good at that.
And he was getting a decent amount of it before the Americans really got involved, because he did a good job fighting in North Africa against Rommel, where Rommel earned his kind of bones, the Desert Fox, quote unquote. But then once all the like really competent generals started getting in,
Like, was Eisenhower?
Eisenhower was top command, so he wasn't like a field commander like Montgomery was. So that would be like Patton and who's the guy?
McCarthy?
No, well, McCarthy was Pacific, so he wasn't really stealing Montgomery's thunder.
Oh, yeah.
It was the dude, the other guy with Patton who ended up superseding Patton, Bradley, Omar Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
Once those two guys got in there, and like General Mark Clark in Italy with the Americans, he was starting to get outclassed by his American counterparts, who were just better, to be honest. But so Market Garden was conspicuously planned right around the time Patton was plowing through France on his famous kind of like 40 or 50 day essentially a blitzkrieg through France. And then so they diverted to do Market Garden because it was a good like goal in that if they took the right highways, that's like a fucking straight lane into Germany that kind of would bypass the Siegfried line, which is essentially what Germany did when they invaded France, which is bypassing the Maginot Line by going through Belgium, through the Ardennes Forest, I should say.
Which nobody thought that they would be able to do, but
Right.
holy shit, did they fucking do it.
They did it twice in the same war.
Yeah.
They did it in 40 against the French, and then did it in 44 in the Battle of the Bulge.
Damn.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Word.
Hell
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just teaching
I
history
mean,
here.
learn the goddamn lesson.
Yeah,
they did it
goddamn
once.
it.
They're obviously going to do it again.
But everyone hated Montgomery. Everyone. No matter who they fucking were.
I'm really surprised that he was very humble in his later years, and he didn't gloat about his war crime where he shot people while waving a surrender flag. That's
That's what I was
Well,
thinking
he
too.
wasn't
is
waving the flag. He made
didn't
the
really wanna
Germans
talk
wave
about
the
it.
flag.
Oh, so wait, no. It's not a war crime because someone else was waving the flag. He was just like, I don't know what he was doing waving that flag.
It's called a loophole, bitch.
Yeah, lawyered.
Is it?
Lawyered.
the Germans were the ones surrendering, so
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was just in the back, popping off.
Who was the
Actually,
American leader of the like bombers and stuff like that? What was his name? The Air Force General LeMay? Was it Curtis LeMay?
Well, I can't remember.
Anyway, he was like, yeah, I mean, if we lost the war, I'd probably be being tried for war crimes right now.
I think that's generally how it went.
That's how it
That's
goes,
how war
right?
goes.
Yeah.
Wars back then.
Yeah. But I mean, he was like, I mean, we were bombing the fuck out of civilians and everything. So, yeah, I mean, if we had lost, I'd be
The
getting
winning
executed.
the winning side getting tried for war crimes is a pretty recent thing to start happening.
40, 50 years in the history of Earth?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, really? Who else ever gave a shit? Unless it was for their own political purposes.
Yeah.
Unless you, if you won, you don't really answer. But if you lost,
But also, I guess, is this not a lot of times just for political purposes?
Rob.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
so
Shit don't change.
Yeah.
what was your favorite accomplishment of Leo?
It's obviously the war crimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Taking
good
an entire
Lord.
city.
What a fucking dick.
Well, he ended up getting a street named after him
In that city?
in Zwolle or Zwolle.
In Germany?
No, it's Netherlands.
Oh, Netherlands? Oh, yeah, then that makes perfect sense. Yeah, why not? I actually do. My favorite part of the whole thing was him getting 93 people to surrender, or what? 94, I guess.
Oh, his first prisoner of war
Situation. Was he taking prisoners after that? It didn't sound like it.
Yeah, he took after that city, he took like 50 plus. Yeah.
I do like that
Technically-
he gets people to
Technically, that was his second prisoner of war situation because he took the two German
two guys,
soldiers.
Oh, yeah,
prisoner
yeah,
of
yeah,
war.
He's a collector. Yeah.
Yes. I do like how he seemed to get harder by making men submit.
I mean, don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part was that they just couldn't keep him out of fighting and warring.
Lost an eye.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were like, hey,
Broke
you got to
his
go
verb,
home. He's
right?
like, no, I don't. And they're like, what do we do in this point?
Fuck
like,
you.
no one ever says, no, I don't.
No.
Everyone's like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I'll
no.
go home now. And they're like, well, we don't know how to handle this. But also that he fucked off and like, for like, what
For
was
like a
it?
month.
A month. And
Yeah.
he just kind of had like a
Stayed
nice
with a Dutch family.
summer abroad.
Yeah,
the
a
host
nice
family.
little fucking
Yeah.
vacation.
That's great. Yeah, he probably learned some
Little
stuff.
vacation before going back to war.
Smoked. I like to think he smoked a couple dudes.
How old was he in the war?
So he's born in 21. So
he's
20s?
Yeah, in his 20s.
Man, he was fucking some Dutch guy's daughter. 100%.
Oh.
yeah.
100.
Not just one.
Yeah, like he's living on a farm.
He's like, if my back's wrecked, I'm
Yeah.
gonna wreck yours too.
Yeah, he looked like a fucking like sea captain.
Yeah, he was absolutely
And by that I
Van
mean
Goghing the fucking countryside.
he,
But
a
by that I
seaplane
mean leaving an
captain.
impression.
Yeah.
He was throwing more ropes around Europe than the Rangers at Point du Hoc.
Love that.
That was too highbrow for me, guys.
It's a D-Day reference.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Why don't you read a fucking book?
I don't like. I don't cover this part of history.
Yeah.
The
it kinda
Second
makes-
World War?
Yeah,
It's been covered.
Makes sense for Jake.
It's traumatic.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject. man.
Trigger
But I was
warning.
going to say,
Yeah.
you're a white guy in your 30s. I thought that kind of becomes an identity for most people.
Oh, World War II knowledge.
It's literally in
Yeah.
our description. It's like for people who grew up with their dads constantly watching the History Channel,
Yeah.
which is how I fucking got into it,
See,
and I'm going to make my son do
I'll
it.
get around to watching World War II in color eventually.
I was before World War II, and I remember, like
Rob
when
remembers
World War II
World
came.
War II.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
old
who
as shit.
remembers?
You guys didn't play Axis and Allies with your dad and your brother?
Oh, Jesus Christ. And I know Coop plays these games too. We could probably let you guys nerd out about like Ages of Empires and
Oh, we should do like a Twitch battles for like
Oh, God, that
AOE.
Actually, that
did
would
you
be-
play Total War or no?
Oh no, Total War is what got me into the entire Rome topic and
Yeah.
the whole history of Caesar's campaign in Gaul. My fascination with that came from Rome Total War 2.
we should
One of the
have a
expansions.
live stream of you guys playing this game while me and Dan do something else.
Make fun of us?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, you should be the mean color commentators.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look, Rob just.
Rob died like an asshole.
Well, it's not like I would really die. It's like massive units in battle, and I would just be like,
No, it's
commanding
you.
them,
It's
so.
you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I like the fact that he just went on a little vacay in the Netherlands for a little bit.
He
That
had
was my
fun.
favorite part.
It
Yeah.
sounded like these were the best years of his life. I don't know that he enjoyed Korea as much.
Probably not.
Who does?
You know, it's like
I don't think anybody
it's like,
did aside from
yeah,
Chesty
it's like the
Puller.
second time. It's like so you went on spring break in college and that was really fun, and then you're like 25 and you and your bros are still single, and you're like, dude, let's go back to PCB one time.
Yeah, we
And-
did that with Bonnaroo, where
Yeah.
we went back post grad when we were working at our old company, and 24, 25, you're out of college. Going to Bonnaroo, not the same.
It's,
Yeah.
You're just hanging out and sweating with your bros.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
It's
cool.
a little different.
Yeah.
One of you might get laid, and they're like everyone might get laid away, but it's just not as fun.
But
You
you're
know what
all
I'm saying?
sharing the same tent, and it's
Yeah.
like that.
Eating bunk mushrooms,
Yeah.
doing cocaine that doesn't work. It was fun for me.
I
showered
there
in a
doesn't
porta
sound
potty.
like many things worse to me than campsite cocaine. Cocaine's not a thing I want to do camping.
It's especially in like 103-degree weather in
Yeah.
Mansfield, Tennessee, or whatever it is.
I
Like,
need-
it's kind of just hot. I want a cold beer.
Yeah, I need
like,
climate control on a soft bed guaranteed.
Campsite mushrooms?
not
That's
a-
fine. That seems more.
honestly, if it's too hot out, mushrooms are kind of a
They're
hit or miss one
gross.
too. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you sweat a lot when you do hallucinogens.
Pop and Molly?
Yeah. Anyway.
Trinidad, baby.
Softcorehistory.com. Get your merch.
Yeah, buy some merch, buy a t-shirt, make sure to rate, review.
And don't be scared off by the pictures on the merch site. The merch is actually all really good. We just haven't gotten all the shit in to take pictures of it yet.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that.
Yep, and we're going to work on some new merch, maybe a Topsy shirt. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe
Someone
top-
asked for the goat quotes.
Oh, quote
goat
goats.
quotes. Yeah,
Quote
we'll
goats.
we'll throw some
Well, I don't even remember that
designs up
joke. I was
there.
pretty drunk.
Quote goats.
Quote goats.
I mean,
that's-
it's
Go kiss your ass.
No, I was thinking that's a great fucking shirt.
What was
Yeah,
it about?
it's-
I don't remember. I was pretty drunk. I
When
don't
someone says, "Oh,
Kiss
quote
my
goats,"
ass.
it's kiss
Yeah.
my ass. Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Lick my
Quote
asshole.
goats.
So we'll put stuff up on the site, and it's print on demand. So like,
Give it some time. Don't expect it in a certain amount of time. I'm gonna actually be really blunt here.
we'll just throw things up on the site. Who
You're
knows?
supporting a small podcast. If it doesn't fit, don't return it. Give it to someone else. We don't want to waste
Give it to
shit here.
Goodwill or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
if it doesn't
seriously.
fit,
We're not doing returns.
It should be noted, by the way, that thanks to all your guys like support and sharing it with your friends, and please keep doing that and everything. We do soon, I think in a couple weeks, finally have advertisers coming on board.
Say it too early.
Yeah, don't count those
You're
chickens.
spiking the football early.
Yeah.
Am I dropping at the 1 yard line?
Just
are.
as Sean Jackson did.
I'm just saying thank you to everyone.
Yeah, seriously, thank all our listeners. Thank you to all of you because, Rob, Dan, and I, we've done a lot of different projects together, and this is the first one that's really kind of taken off. So
Felt good.
Yeah, it feels good. We're really happy, and thank you, Coop. And today we got Joel over here doing the boards, so thank you for that.
Our competitor podcast, just, producing our show.
Partner podcast.
Yeah, we always refer to you guys on the show as our brothers in arms. We've never considered you guys to be competitors or competition or anything like that.
I see you brothers in arms as we're Cain and you're Abel.
Well,
Dan.
I mean, there can still be some internal competition. I guess,
kissing cousins.
Ooh, I like that. Even I'm from Southeast Oregon.
Yeah.
I'm all about.
But
kissing
somebody's
cousins.
still got to win the right to top.
That's true.
No.
So
I don't feel that way at all. And
No.
Yeah,
Go ahead and check it. Of course. Coop.
Please.
Pimp out your podcast.
Yeah, plug it.
Well, first of all, I have to say that I'm very, very happy to be on the show. We talk very, very nicely about softcore history on every episode of Iconoblast podcast. We always push your show at the end of the episode because honestly, you guys do a really good show, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's been an honor and a pleasure. I hope to do it again sometime, and I hope to get each and every one of you on the Iconoblast podcast on some upcoming episodes.
Oh, absolutely. We got to have Joel on soon. Joel, I don't want to have you on until you go back to Macedonia and steal something important from Alexander the Great, and then
I was gonna say, what is actually important in Macedonia?
Alexander the Great. Is that where he's from? North Macedonia, right? Yeah.
We don't ship to North Macedonia, so don't order from there.
Yeah. But
we
steal
ship to
something
Canada.
I just want to do like a
No,
shitty
it's
show and
US
tell.
Yeah, I don't think North Macedonia actually has a mail service yet.
No, they don't.
No.
They're
You
kinda
actually,
behind the times.
the company I work for right now, someone from North Macedonia was like, "Do you ship here?" And we were like, "Does anyone? Does anyone ship? Do you guys ship to each other? More importantly, what's going on?"
How are you accessing the internet at this point? Did you
Yeah.
leave Macedonia?
I was like, "Are you guys okay?"
They're like
Why are you trying to get a T-shirt?
It's like an involuntary North Korea.
Yeah. Wait. What do you?
They're
what?
cut off from the world, but they didn't even mean to be.
Solely off infrastructure.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah. I get what he's- It's like, do you think North Korea was voluntary?
Well, some of them made it voluntary. Like some of them chose to do it.
Yeah, true.
No one in North Macedonia chose to do it, is what I mean.
Yes, I get you.
Yeah, there was somebody making choices in North Korea.
Yeah, right. I got you.
Yeah. So for Coop Cooperson, Matt Cooper,
Coop Cooperson.
Coop Cooperson,
Matthew Cooper.
Rob Fox,
Am I in trouble?
Jake Goldman.
Did I do something wrong?
I'm Dan Regester, and you just got self-served.